Okay, in this video, I'm going to literally explain everything about dopamine detox. I know you have been seen a ton of dopamine detox all over the internet, right? People have been talking about dopamine detox for the past, I guess, 3 years or something. With that, I'm also going to explain the four stage of natural dopamine and cheap dopamine. And let me tell my story at first. This is really interesting. Like in 2024, I was the most disciplined version of myself. Like all I did was copywriting, editing, all those natural dopamine stuff, and business and work. And I purely not entirely just almost cut all those cheap dopamines. Like I installed blockers for all those adult content videos, all those reels, basically all those short form contents, and I didn't watch them. And I was really productive at that time. All I wanted to do was just work. Even though I'm at that time, I just wasn't that immersed to business, that obsessed with online business and copywriting, all those steps. But by the end of 2024, I reached 2025, which is the year I was in the 10th standards. If you are a guy in India or Kerala, you know that 10th class is just bullshit. Not bullshit actually, but the pressure is really high compared to plus one or ninth. Like it's basically just a stereotype. You need to score full A plus in 10th standard in order to get the best career. Like here, people who have got full A plus as is right now in tea shops and stuff, so that doesn't don't care. So but of course you know that there will be pressure. The villagers, the fucking people, the society will pressure my parents will pressure me. But at last I joined a tuition academy. I was actually fucking pissed off right there, but I tried to focus it, but all my whole mind was on copywriting, business, or editing, all the stuff. And eventually I was so immersed and obsessed with business that I literally argued, hated everything towards parents. I was literally punching walls to get the relief, to take my anger out. I'm saying this upfront, right? So after that, I finally decide it's just a matter of 1 year, right? Let me concentrate into my 10th standards. And I stopped going to tuition, but still I was studying in schools and stuff. I started slowly forgetting about business, not being disciplined as I was in 2024. And a year passed. I wrote my exams, SSLC exams. I got 5A plus, 3A and 2B plus, a decent score, and I was pretty happy. But after that, it was the time to enter plus one, 11th standard, and it was in 2025, right? I was completely stuck at this moment. I basically was completely stuck. I didn't know what to do. I did work, I did copywriting and all those stuffs, but the passion, the obsession was not there, which was in 2024 and in the middle of 2025, right? It was not there. Like I did scroll so much. I did all those bad stuff. I did binge watched all those Netflix series, movies, useless movies, binged all of them, watched literally all those short form content. My brain was fucking full of cheap dopamine, filled with cheap dopamine. I was like, I wanted to get rid of all those things. Hope you understand what I'm trying to say, right? And what happened till like last week, I was stuck without knowing what to do, how to overcome all these cheap dopamine. Till then, I came up with a YouTube video. I don't exactly remember the name of that YouTube channel. It was something like Team B or something. I don't exactly remember, but it was a really valuable video. It was about dopamine detox. Like, I had gone up so much with things, and literally I think this was like something God gave me. The video that God sent me in my algorithm, something like that, and I clicked it. I watched it. Basically the motive, the title of the video was the person inside the video. He went to dopamine detox for 3 months, and after that he watched TikTok shorts. TikTok videos, and he said that he experienced the immense headache because he was not like fucking, he didn't want to do that. His brain was fucking fully rewired, and his brain was not cooked anymore. So when he was back on the thing, that the cheap dopamine that he didn't want, he experienced an immense headache, and he wished us to get the same headache like that literally that he experienced. So after that, I sat somewhere and realized I can do the same. Like, and right now I am on dopamine detox for the past 1 week, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm experiencing the best happiness, pleasure, satisfaction with natural dopamine that I have been experiencing for the last 2024, right? I've been missing this feeling. Like, for the last 1 year of +1, I have only felt like all those regret, all those cheap dopamines. I didn't satisfy it a single time. Even after getting a huge victory, I can't win. I can't like enjoy them. I can't feel pleasure in them because literally my brain was cooked up. My dopamine level was so much high by watching these steps, doing these steps, that literally by doing natural things, natural dopamine that's supposed to make you happy, a lot happy, I was not happy. Basically, I was not happy because of my brain was. That's where comes the 4 stages of dopamine that I need you to hear, right? There are 4 stages of natural dopamine and cheap dopamine. First is when both the natural dopamines, not both, natural dopamine is high and cheap dopamine is low. This is where you experience the immense happiness, pleasure, everything that I'm experiencing right now. You feel so much satisfied with little pleasure, little natural things like talking to friends, talking to family, reading books, writing, journaling, basically journaling, and working on your business, eating protein rich food, exercise. These are the types of natural dopamine, and you will experience the really good feeling of natural dopamine, right, in this mode. So but this particular time, the natural dopamine needs to be high and the cheap dopamine needs to be cut off. This is where exactly the what we call dopamine detox. The natural dopamine will be high, the cheap dopamine will be low. And the second stage in the 4 stages of natural dopamine versus cheap dopamine is both these things going alternative. The cheap dopamine getting high and the natural dopamine going low. In this stage, you are fucking cooked up. This was when I was in 2025 in 11 standards. I was really high in cheap dopamine, that I didn't feel any pleasure in natural things. My brain was cooked, even though there was no natural dopamine. It was really high, the cheap dopamine. I was fucking too cooked. And if you are seeing this, I know you are seeing this. Of course, you are seeing this. But what kind of stupid I am? I'm talking to you, the guy other side of the screen. Sorry, I'm pretty bad at speaking English. Not bad, but I'm just decent. Not that decent. Like I could make mistakes, but I want you to say that. I want to say that never end up in this situation. Maybe right now you are being in this because 99%. I'm saying literally saying 99 of percentage in Earth. Not 99. If not 99, 90% of Earth right now, from kids to old age people, are like the inside the trap of cheap dopamine. You understand? It's really hard to get out of this, but it's not that hard. Like, I mean, people are still in this. Thousands of, even my family and friends, they consume cheap dopamine all day. I mean, all day. That they can't feel pressure anymore. After learning so much about this whole cheap dopamine, brain chemistry and stuff, that I can only get into this point of recovery. There are many friends who doesn't even know English, doesn't even know about anything that is tech. I don't know what will they do. I don't care what will they do. I need to become success at fast, and then I can even think about them, right? But even my sister, she's a pure brain rot. Like, she watches all those shorts, and she's really angry to us. She's just frustrated towards her grandparents and those who mock them. She's really out of shape. I am not. I'm basically skinny. But I'm an athlete, but it's not the fucking topic, right? My sister really shouts to my grandfather and stuff, and people say it's her age, it's due to her age, but the reality is that it's because of cheap dopamine. I have been experiencing this. After cheap dopamine consumption, I can't, like, I would never talk friendly with my grandparents. After getting into dopamine detox, I could experience all those steps. Hope you understand what I'm exactly trying to say. And even though my English words kinda don't relate, it's because my accent is bad, my English is bad, but hope you she's cooked. I need to recover her, right? So basically, you need to avoid all this. The third stage of natural dopamine versus cheap dopamine is when both the natural dopamine and the cheap dopamine are low. There is no cheap dopamine. You cut out all those cheap dopamine, and you are not doing any natural dopamine. At this stage, it is pretty cooked up. Also, this is also pretty cooked up. The reason is that by both cutting out, you will be extremely, I mean, by saying extremely, you will be extremely fucking bored right now, because you have nothing to do. There is no cheap dopamine to watch, there is no natural dopamine to do. You have nothing to do until you are not like those. You have no Hulk type of, those Avengers type of willpower. You will end up back to the cheap dopamine, because you have nothing to do. You are basically bored as fuck. And what do people do when they are bored? They hop on cheap dopamine. That's what happened in stage 3, and the stage 4 is when both are there, right? This is the stage 4, and there are high amount of natural dopamine and high amount of cheap dopamine. This is also a fucked up stage, right? Because I have always been there. Basically, I have been in the 2025, I have been in this place. The both level of cheap dopamine and natural dopamine was high. The natural dopamine was not high in case of me that much, but cheap dopamine and natural dopamine was there actually. But the problem with this is still, if you in a head-to-head combat, the cheap dopamine will always kill or defeat natural dopamine, because the amount of pleasure it releases is far more than what natural dopamine releases. Hope you understand what I'm saying. Listen closely. The amount of cheap dopamine, pleasure cheap dopamine release is far more than the amount of pleasure natural dopamine releases. So it doesn't matter if you do natural dopamine with cheap dopamine, you need to cut it out. So this stage 4, which I was doing, absolutely doing every single day in 2025, early 2025, was just absolutely bad. This is a bad stage to be. The stage you want to be in the first stage, which is you need to cut out all those cheap dopamines, you need to increase all those natural dopamines without cutting them or not doing any natural dopamines, or basically doing the natural cheap dopamine and not doing the natural dopamine, or basically cutting out both or basically increasing both. What you want to do is this pattern: cutting out all those cheap dopamine and doing all those natural dopamine. And this is, my friend, what we call dopamine detox. Hope you understand. I tried my everything, I give my best to explain this to you, right? Whew. I mean, this is it. This is what we call cheap dopamine. And trust me, I can literally pay your rent if this didn't work. I will literally pay you $5,000 even though I don't have. I will fucking give you everything I have if this didn't work. If you exactly did the dopamine detox exactly the way, you are going to win. You are literally going to win. You have been in a stage where I am right now. I feel so much happy. I feel so much pleasure. I don't want to watch any more cheap dopamines. By thinking about watching cheap dopamines, all those bad stuff, I like feel disgust. I don't wanna do that anymore. My brain don't wanna do that anymore. That is the stage, and I feel so much happy. And I want you to be in that same stage as me. There is so much pleasure. There's so much satisfaction by doing natural dopamine and stuff. These were the things I felt so much boring when the cheap dopamine was high, but it is right now cut it off. And this is a really great spot to be here, man. And for the 1 week, I'm not asking you for 1 month, 2 month, 1 year, all those steps. Not even 1 week, just for 2 days or 3 days. Try dopamine detox. Only for 2 days. Try dopamine detox. I am promising you that you of course will find pleasure in small natural things. You will find the meaningfulness of life again. I fucking guarantee you. I guarantee you. Try it out and let me know in the comments after that. Hope you have a great day and God bless you.